Welcome back to Battle Cage. It's your boy Saif, and I'm coming to you with another great video. Today, we're going to be looking at and trying to predict and break down the UFC Fight Night Seattle. That's been all over the place so far. We had cancellations, we had replacements, we just have a lot of things going on. But you know what? We're going to make do with what we have. Without further ado, let's get into this video. All right. Welcome back to Battle Cage. We have a very difficult task ahead of us because we have a fight card that is looking to be a little bit cursed, if you will. So I am going to go and give you guys the best picks that I can, but I am going to caution you, for the love of God, stay the freaking hell away from this fight card from the betting perspective. I am telling you, it's not worth it. It's extremely volatile. I looked it over. I tried to dissect it. I tried to find the best spots. I'm not saying there aren't any good spots. I'm just saying buyer be the hell where. I want you to look at this graphic, and if you saw the full image, you see these little things right here. These little things. Well, these are raindrops, and I'm telling you right now, if you're not careful, you're gonna be crying come next Sunday. So be careful, guys. I warned you. Do not overexpose yourself here. Play with very limited amount of units and you will be all right. We were very successful, I think, as a betting community, generally speaking. At least I was this past weekend. And I'm just going to quickly share that with you. By the way, this is Battle Cage, my official topology profile. A lot of people take shit on it. I'm actually going to use topology for a couple of things. The first thing is I'm going to track my percentage, and I'm proud of myself. I only have close to 50 predictions, and I'm already at close to 70%. That was my goal, guys. When I was coming in here, I told you I want to be 70% minimum, because if you're 70% picking and playing, you're beating goddamn house. I mean, imagine if someone told you you got 70% chance to go to casino and win. I'd take those odds any day. I'm not going to say this is going to be forever, but at least for now, we're going to ride this wave until, well, it crashes. God willing, it's going to go the entire. Now, this is a marathon. I keep stressing to you guys, it's not a goddamn sprint. Relax. You do not have to play every single fight. You absolutely do not have to play every single card. You do not have to bet every single fight. You do not have to bet every single fight. Pace yourselves and you will be all right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at 69%. I do want to show you how I did last time. I did very well. I only had one mistake. So Elijah Smith, Estevan Walker, Calvin Kente, Sadokov dog play, Hill came through, Delgado, that was a beautiful performance. I got the Rodriguez pick wrong, excuse me, and I had the Shibazian. I had a couple of parlays, I had a couple of live plays. So overall, like I said, I just started doing this, but my numbers are good. 8 out of 12 in the UFC 312. Before that, 6 out of 9, 8 out of 9. Only one wrong. I'm pretty good. I don't want to talk a lot of shit, but as you can see, numbers are numbers. I'm not faking it. So that's my profile, 69%. I will be tracking it, and I will be using this to put my official picks. I usually do this with you guys. I usually do my picks as I go along. So I will be loading up here once again. Topology. This is bike. I could choose a side, I could choose a method, and I can choose a round. I'm not that good at choosing the rounds. There's some killers out there that are choosing rounds and method of victories. I mean, I'm gonna start, pretty much following them. And I encourage you to take a look. There's some killers out there, some killers on topology. So there's a lot of talk about topology, a lot of hate on topology. not this guy. I love Topology. So with that being said, let's go hover along to the opening fight for at least now. Okay, I don't know what's going on. These, like I said, the cards are all over the place, and yeah, we're gonna do our best to kind of just hang in there. Okay, so Modestas Bukauskas versus Rafael Cerqueira. Let's look at the odds. You already have Modestas Bukauskas as a, you know, significant 3-1 favorite at some books. He's physically matching Rafael Cerqueira. If you want to know who Rafael Cerqueira is, well, this is the guy who got finished by one of the fighters later on in this card by the name of ASLAN, and the guy really finished him in, like, I don't know, really fast, couple of seconds. You know what I mean? So we didn't get to see much of Rafael Cerqueira. That's his only loss. Now they're giving him Modestas Bukauskas, who's really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. He does have the skills overall, but he hasn't been as successful as we would like him to be, or at least as we thought he was gonna be. So a good matchup here, you know, good litmus test for Cerqueira and a good litmus test for Modestas. It's a good opening bout, lightweight, you know, pretty big boys, 205ers, you know, getting it on. I do think Cerqueira might be a little bit undersized physically here. Reach advantage is going to go to Modestas Bukauskas. Strike accuracy is actually 100% for Rafael, not considering last fight. And the volume, though, 3-1 favoring Modestas Bukauskas. The overall experience is going to favor Modestas Bukauskas. So yeah, the roads are leading to Modestas Bukauskas here. So I am inclined to pick Modestas Bukauskas, but you guys know me, and a couple of my rules is, a couple of my rules are: never bet the first fight, never bet the first fight, never bet the first fight, even if it's Calvin Kente. If you want to put in a little sprinkle parlay, fine, but you don't take significant action on the very first fight. If you just avoid the first fight, you are literally setting up yourself for success, because you don't start on a bad note. So I usually skip the first couple of fights overall. I'm just saying, I will make picks if I'm really confident they're like minus 1,000. Calvin Kente was minus 700. Did she perform like a minus 700? I beg to differ, but that's for another story. So I'm leaning Modestas Bukauskas here. You know what I'm saying? We could take a look at the, you know, the odds. The odds kind of, you know, usually tell us the story here. For the most part, can't go by the odds all the time. So you do have to be careful, guys, when you're, you know, analyzing the odds. So let me go over to the odds right now. I'll fix this really quick. So, you know, open up on minus 298. He kind of went a little bit ahead of himself in terms of the line, minus 325 to minus 340. Looks like it's coming back down here. You know what I mean? A little bit of rebound action. It's fine. It's understandable, because once you get a big dog like that, who could bark at any significant moment, you know, he's a Brazilian, you know, very well put together. You know what I'm saying? He could bark. It's a fist fight. Anything could happen. So I understand the rebound action on Cerqueira here. But again, very first fight, be careful. This entire card with cancellations and things like this just smells funny. We did very well. Massive 30-unit profit last week, at least for me. We don't want to give that money back. So be careful, calm down, take it easy. We'll get right through it. Let's continue. All right, moving down along, we got ABDUL-MALIK taking on Nick Klein, and this is a very, very quick pick, guys. I'm not going to waste your time. The pick is going to be ABDUL-MALIK, and it's not because he is a massive favorite, close to 1,000 in certain books, believe it or not, but because Nick Klein, in my humble opinion, is not UFC, you know, caliber. Mansoor is just huge. He's powerful. He's athletic. He's going to kill Nick Klein. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. That's all you really got to know. He opened up at minus 700, opened up minus 700. Like I said, he's minus 920 on DraftKings right now. So the only thing I'm waiting is the prop. I do see inside a distance. Most likely a knockout, because Nick Klein has never been punched by someone the likes of Mansour Abdul-Malik. So I'm going to call him M-A-M, okay, ma'am, or whatever. I don't want to disrespect him, but you know what? Mansour. Let's just keep it Mansour. Yeah, Mansour is a beast. There's nothing else to say. He's going to kill this guy, Nick Klein. He doesn't belong. He's very sloppy. He's very unimpressive, unoriginal. He's a debuting fighter. He's going to get killed. Let's move forward. All right, continuing. We got Ricky Simón versus Javid Basharat. And by the way, I'm going by the UFC lineup here. As you realized, I'm not going by the ESPN lineup or the Topology lineup. So it may change in terms of the fight order, things like that. So just, don't give me any grief on it. This is just how I'm going by. But we got Ricky Simón, Javid Basharat. There was a moment where Ricky Simón was really making headways, and he was a very, very promising fighter. But, things happened along the way. He dropped the ball several times. So, kind of iffy fighter right now. He's only 32 years of age. So it's not like he's, beyond, he's not in the dust. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a very, very scary proposition here. And by the way, as you can see, I am going to be locking this in. Mansour Abdul-Malik. Most likely a knockout, most likely round 1 finish. But yeah, so here I am inclined to pick Javid Basharat here. He also dropped the ball on us, okay? His last fight, he lost to Ayman Zahabi. I had a monster parlay with this piece of shit, to be honest, as my leg number 1. So he kind of destroyed my dreams with that. Yeah, very, very sad news. But it is what it is. Basharat is currently a very, very, hefty favorite as well. Creeping up that minus 300, maybe more. He's creeping up that minus 298 mark, minus 300 mark, close to 3-1 favorite. He opened up at minus 218. He's now minus, 300. Let's call it at that. Excuse me. He technically should win. He has good volume. He does have good wrestling. So Ricky Simón was one of those, very stocky, powerful wrestling type of guys, and he did very well. There was a time where he was running, he was running the show. He was really doing good work. I'll tell you that much. He was doing good work. But along the way, couple of mishaps, kind of like took him out of action. And he seems to be dropping the ball. Most notably, his last fight, my guy Oliveira, Vinicius Oliveira was able to get a, decision win over him. So that kind of helped me to pick Vinicius Oliveira over that Said Nurmagomedov. So yeah, I do like the chances for Basharat here. I do think he should be, technically sound to bounce back by that one loss. I don't consider him a fraud per se. So I do expect a bounce back from Javid. I'm sure he's learning, he's honing. He probably learned what the hell he did wrong, gassing the fuck out, and not pressing the gas pedal in the third round, because I had a 1-1 going to the third with Ayman Zahabi. But it is what it is. I am a little salty. That's why maybe I'm reluctant to pick him. But I'm going to say that he is a good fighter. He got all the tools. He has a lot of rangy kicks. He can stuff takedowns. He can even implement his own takedowns. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if I can trust him with my money. Time will tell. But I think he is a good parlay piece. If you're looking for a parlay piece, he could be your parlay piece. And I hate to say parlay leg number 1 because he fucked me last time. Excuse my French, but it is what it is. So I kind of, I want to be reserved here and give you guys that disclaimer that I have this on the back of my mind, But yeah, I think he should get the job done. With that being said, buyer beware. Buyer beware. Leaning on Javid, to be honest, And yeah, let's move forward, guys. All right, the next fight, I know it's still listed. I don't have the odds on it. there are talks that this fight was canceled. Adam Forget versus Billy Goff. I still have to confirm if it was canceled. Topology doesn't have it. ESPN still showing it. UFC is still showing it. I will check Topology. Topology doesn't have this fight listed as of now, and you know Topology is on point with this shit. So I'm gonna skip it right now because I don't know what the hell's going on with this fight. You know what I'm saying? Very volatile situations happening. So let's continue. Up next, we got Andre Touchy Feeling taking on, and I'm probably gonna butcher this guy's name, Melquizael Costa here. Physically, they're pretty much the same. The elder, you know, 34 years old, Andre Touchy Feeling, he is getting up there. He is riding a 3-inch reach advantage. Striking looks pretty much, you know, somewhat the same. The accuracy is going to favor Costa ever so slightly. The takedown game is the same. But if you ask me right now, who do I see taking this fight to the ground? It's probably going to be Costa, because he's going to realize very early in this fight that Andre Fili doesn't mind standing and trading shots, you know, blow for blow. This guy he's there to get hit, to be honest. I'm not even going to lie to you. I will even show you this. Significant shots landed, like I said, is the same. The absorbed is going to be 4 to 2. So Andre Fili, like I said, he stands in the pocket, and he is very, very hittable. So there's going to be an opportunity, a window for opportunity for Costa to perhaps outvolume, you know, Andre Fili, or use that volume and find an open shot or possibly a hit, or it doesn't matter, find the strike where he can change levels on Andre Fili, especially if Andre Fili is just going to stand in, you know, in the pocket and go blow for blow with Costa. So if anyone is taking this fight to the ground, it's most likely going to be Costa. But I got to tell you, the takedown defense for Andre Fili is very, very sizable, 70% takedown defense. So that's something to consider when breaking this fight, when you're looking at, you know, what's going on, you know, with these guys. In terms of value, they've been hovering, you know, at even. You know what I'm saying? At even. There even is a movement as of right now. As of right now, there is money coming in on Costa, which pushing Andre Fili to the underdog spot. It was reversed up, the other way. If you ask my pick is going to be Costa. I will be picking Costa because I think he's the younger fighter, because I think he's the more hungrier fighter. I don't know which way he's going to win, but I'm going to make an official pick on him. I actually have a play on him already. There's an overwhelming majority of, people picking Fili, and I understand it. He is going to be the more seasoned dude in here. I get it, guys. I get it. But age in MMA is a huge factor to me. Him getting knocked out, by Dan Ige in round 1 is a factor to me. Yes, he bounced back, a good bounce back, actually, against Cop Swanson in a split decision win, considering what Cop Swanson just did with his knockout, right, to close the year. So, good bounce back for Fili, but his inconsistent work has always been a problem, has always been a plague. And now you got somebody like Costa who just doesn't give a shit, man. I mean, look at this guy. You understand what kind of heart he has? Like, he's been fighting his whole life, ever since he was a kid. I guarantee you that whatever. I'm going to go with Costa. I think he has more to lose in this fight, because Fili doesn't get phased if he loses. That's just going to be another loss to him. For Costa here, he definitely wants to keep climbing and getting a win against Fili, someone who we know, who's, a tried and true vet, if you will. It's going to push him closer to what he needs to do to continue fighting in the UFC and possibly climbing that ladder. But yeah, give me Costa here, and I like the even Steven line right now, so that doesn't hurt. Let's move forward. All right, jumping into the middle weight bout, we got Nursultan RUZIBOEV taking on a newcomer, a debutant, Eric McNico. I think Eric M. Eric M. And I will say this. Nursultan Ruziboev from the country of Uzbekistan, my country, to be honest. So there is some bias because I want to support my boy. But that aside, I've watched the tape on Eric, I can't even say his. I don't know why my tongue is not working today. Eric M. Okay, so he just seems to be a little bit more physical. He's more ferocious. 6'5" is crazy. He sucked down to welterweight fighting. Joaquin Buckley, where he was taken down and controlled by Buckley. But hand-to-hand combat, I mean, he is the more physical specimen here. I'm sure Eric, I've seen him wrestle, and that's going to be the game plan. Most likely, because in a hand-to-hand combat, he's going to get smoked. I'm just letting you know. In terms of value, there's actually been a lot of movement here. Minus 325 opening line, and now minus 278. So I waited to play this guy, and that's fine. I'm watching the line very closely. This guy opened up at minus 260. Money seems to be coming in on this guy, and I say, fuck it. Let this money come in. Because I will be backing Ruziboev. I do believe in this guy. I think he's very, very tough. He's been there. I mean, look at the experience. 34 wins, 9 losses, 2 draws. And, the overwhelming Tapology community is picking Ruziboev. I hate to be, hit with a trap. So I'm not going to put too much stock on this guy. Being from my country, I'm going to support this guy. Overall, I think he's physically, better. The other guy is 34-9, so he's going to be 35 relatively soon. What is he going to show Ruziboev that he hasn't seen? A wrestling pedigree? Yeah, we've seen it. Striking? I don't know. Doesn't look very impressive to me, if you ask me, straight up, quite honestly. So, I think the pick here is Ruziboev. If the line keeps going, fine, let it go. You're going to get the better value on Ruziboev, but that's just going to be my, sound take on it. And, yeah, there's no way I'm going to put Eric, over Ruziboev. Never. So let's move forward. All right, up next, we got Alonzo Menifield taking on Julius Walker, who's debuting in the UFC, and there's a lot of love for Julius Walker. He's a 6-0 undefeated guy, physically imposing. His last weight was a heavyweight 265, so he's going to be cutting just a few, but that's fine. He's 25 years of age, so it's not a big deal. In terms of his stats, let me see if Tapology has, Tapology, Tapology, oh, GOAT, man. People make fun of Tapology, but okay. So 25 years old, 6'4", physical specimen. He's going to be riding a 5-inch reach advantage. He's no slouch. I will say that there is, there's definitely underdog potential here. 66% of Tapology are picking Menifield, and I do want to pick Menifield. I actually picked Menifield, as you can see. But there is a dog potential. There is a dog potential for Julius Erving. That size discrepancy is gonna play a dividend. The 2 KOs, okay, he's been cracked out now. Carlos Olbert cracked him out really fast in 17 seconds or something like that. And Azamat Murzakanov knocked him out pretty bad too. It was just 6 months ago. So perhaps with the advancing age, fighting at light heavyweight, big boys, guys, big boys, it's perhaps catching up to him. So Alonzo Menifield is the pick for now. There is money coming in on Alonzo because of the line swing. He was minus 166. He's now minus 205. So even though people are chirping and talking about Julius, the Juice Box Walker, as a potential underdog, and there is value to it, I don't think I would be confident playing him as an underdog personally. But I'm not going to discourage you. My pick is going to be Alonzo, just because of the UFC vet savvy experience that he has. But the age difference is humongous. The physicality is there. So at this particular moment, I'm not convinced. Perhaps if I watch the media day and weigh-ins, face-offs, perhaps I'll change my pick. For now, I'm going to stay with Alonzo Menifield, but I am not confident, guys. Not at all. Not at all. But for now, that's what it is. Let's continue. Alrighty. Moving forward, we got Ian the Hulk Cutelaba taking on ABDUL-MALIK, the last Ottoman. I think that's his nickname. The pick is gonna be straightforward. I like me ABDUL-MALIK. You know, less damage on him, more power. You know what I'm saying? Ian Cutelaba is barely squeaking out a decision against a debuting UFC fighter who's tough, by the way, right? Arslan was tough. So, yeah, physically 6'1" to 6'3", much younger, 28 to 31. You know, Cutelaba been there with a lot of dudes, and he's been getting rocked out lately. And one thing about ABDUL-MALIK, he likes to knock people out. So, is he definite? Not really, but look at the striking differential, 8.34 to 4. That is huge, and Ian Cutelaba is major suspect at this point. You know, he's been getting knocked out. He's fighting tough dudes. He's slowing down. He wants to wrestle more, so that's his only path to victory. If he can neutralize ABDUL-MALIK's power and just wrestle him. But we've seen ABDUL overcome the wrestling, so I'm going to stick with ABDUL-MALIK. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to probably knock out Ian Cutelaba. I'm going to make an official pick on ABDUL-MALIK, to be honest. And I will tell you, the odds are going in that direction. Open up -155. He's now -175, guys. He covered around 135 for a bit, and then boomsies just dropped really, really crazy over the past 2 days. So there was value of -135 to play him straight, to be honest. Not anymore. So, yeah, that's just the reality. So if you want to parlay him, you could. If you want to possibly play a single, you know, he's still playable at -175. It could be a single play, but remember, you are almost paying 2 to 1 for this guy. So, but I think he's gonna come through. He's gonna come through. This guy is tough business. You know, he means business. That's what I'm gonna say. Let's continue. All right, up next we got a veteran, Rob Font. You know what I'm saying? 37 years of age versus this up and coming Gene Matsumoto. And apparently, you know, going by my brother, okay, he loves Gene Matsumoto. He thinks he's a lock. He's overall just an overall technical good fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of vibe I get from this guy when I watch his tapes. You know, unanimous decision over Brad Katona, submission against Dan Aguera, comes in via Contender Series where he's just a technical fighter. And against Rob Font, that's the way to beat him, because Rob Font will fight your ass. You know what I'm saying? He's a tough guy. But again, 37 years of age. He's coming off a nice win against Kyler Phillips, by the way. That was really nice. But before that, you know, losing to Davison Figueiredo, losing to Corey Sandhagen, you know what I'm saying? Getting a nice knockout win over Adrian Yanez, where I backed him and picked him a live play. So true story. I'm gonna have to trust my brother in this one, because I hate picking against Rob Font, because I think he's such a tough guy with his volume, you know, and he does lack wrestling skills. So this is where there's probably gonna be, you know, deciding factor. If John Matsumoto can take Rob Font down, it's over for Rob Font. But the experience of Rob Font, man, it's very, very, it's very enticing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna trust my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pick John Matsumoto. That's his most confident pick. So I'm gonna stay true and pick, you know, Matsumoto. I'm not sure how he gets it done. There's a split. People are on MMA Topology are picking you know, Rob Font. And like I said, that's because I hate picking against Rob Font. I like this guy. I genuinely like his fighting style. He's a fighter. He's a fighter. He bangs. You know what I'm saying? And I see a world where he clips the shit out of Gene Matsumoto. But again, I'm going to have to trust my brother in this one. And if anything, blame him. But I'm not going to be betting Matsumoto big. But I'm probably going to pick him in a small little parlay. So let's move forward. All right, up next, we got John Silva taking on Baghdasaryan. You know, good fight, good scrap, but now you're looking at John Silva as a whopping favorite, guys. So beware. John Silva, 14-2 record, taking on Baghdasaryan, 8-2 record. Physically, Baghdasaryan is just ever so slightly bigger. He has really good kicks. He has really good stance. I like his fighting style for Melsik Baghdasaryan. But Sean Silva is a monster, guys. And he hits hard. And he doesn't rush the pace. And he's going to be there and methodically counter the shit out of you. And break you down and break you down and break you down and break you down. Yeah, the pick is Jean Silva. He is getting, minus 700 almost. I'm sorry, minus 600 at the moment, as you can see. So if you are going to get him, you probably want to do it now. But he's about to enter a territory where he is no longer bettable. So I do see this line is going to keep going. And he's probably going to finish at minus 750. Minus even 800 if this shit is going the way it's going. Yeah. Jean Silva is going to be the pick. Buyer beware. I have already officially picked Jean Silva. And let's move forward, guys. Alrighty, in the co-main event, we got Brandon Allen in a middleweight action against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. And I gotta tell you, this is a tough for me. This is a tough fight for me to break down because I am a Brandon Allen fan. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I like his nickname All In. I like the wrestling pedigree from this guy. I like his physicality. Although a lot of people, give him some shit. And his last two fights, it wasn't his best performance. I am gonna agree with the public here. And I will say, yes, it wasn't his best performance. That win against Chris Curtis was probably a gift because a lot of people said, he got lucky because he was getting his ass kicked. And then he lost a decision to Nasruddin Imavov, who's looking really good right now. Who's looking very good right now. So that's not a bad loss to Imavov, and there was speculation. He was saying how, there was just the whole weigh-ins and cutting was difficult in France and the whole whatever excuses or whatnot. But Fluffy Hernandez is not an easy outing for Brandon Allen by any stretch of imagination. This guy has been coming in and putting on shows, finishing Michel Pereira, who was looking incredible up until 3 months ago. Submitted my boy Roman Kopylov. I love Roman Kopylov. Knocked out Edmund Shabazian, who just saw, took out in a arm and triangle choke Marc-Andre Barrios, and getting a decision against Josh Friend, who I think was a last minute replacement or something, but he gave him the business. It was a very technical wrestling sound. So from the rest, and by the way, this is a rematch. They fought before, and Hernandez got a decision over Brandon Allen, if I'm not mistaken. So if you look over here, there's going to be an overwhelming majority, writing Allen off. 86% is going to be on Hernandez, and Fluffy Hernandez is that motherfucker, guys. He is, pardon my French. He has everything. And the one thing that he has, what is a lot of people are probably going to be disappointed in Brandon Allen is, they're going to be questioning his heart. No matter how tired Fluffy Hernandez is, he is going to be pushing the pace no matter what. And that is probably what you want. He is 3-1 favorite, so you do have to consider that he's approaching 3-1 line right now. He's currently minus 298 on DraftKings, open up at minus 198. So he's creeping. He was minus 355. But it looks there's a rebound action, and there's a rebound action because of guys like me who like Brandon Allen, who believe that that loss to Nasruddin, as bad as it looked, and as a gift that it was for Curtis, it was a learning opportunity. And being just a few years younger than Fluffy Hernandez, he learned a lot. I think he seems to be confident. He sounds very good. I'm gonna go with the fighter from Kill Cliff FC. I'm gonna pick Brandon Allen as an underdog, and yes, he's a considerable underdog as of right now. He is a plus 225 underdog, and that is probably the highest underdog that I have ever picked in these like prediction videos. But and buyer beware. This is a probably very, very biased pick because I just like Brendan Allen. He's one of my favorite fighters. Because I think overall he's very good and physically gifted. You know what I'm saying? At the middleweight. I hope, because in wrestling, I'm not too worried. He's going to give Fluffy the business in the wrestling department. I just hope that he was practicing his hands. I hope he was bench pressing and bicep curling and doing whatever the fuck he needs to. Because in order to beat Fluffy, you're going to knock him out. You're going to have to hurt him. You're going to have to finish him. You're going to have to submit him. Because the longer this fight goes, Fluffy's only going to get stronger. Fluffy's only going to get better. If this is a decision, Fluffy wins the decision. I'm pretty convinced about that. Unless Brendan Allen shows us something that he hasn't. But it would be nice if he finishes Fluffy, because then that would be a guaranteed win. Because I don't know about the decision. Because I do not like Brendan Allen the last two fights in the last round. In that third round, he did not look good. Did not look good, man. So I think, was it a 5-round fight with Curtis? Yes, it was a 5-round fight with Curtis, and he looked very, very bad, to be honest. And it was a 3-round fight with Imavov. So, yeah, biased pick, sure, but I'm gonna stick with the dog, and I like that dog. If you know what I'm saying. Like, I think it can hit. Let's move forward. All right, the main event of the evening: Henry Cejudo Triple C taking on Song Yadong, and this is your typical recurring theme, guys. This is your recurring theme. This is a possible changing of the guards. You know, the one major horrible thing that Henry Cejudo did is he retired for a little bit, then he came back. You know what I'm saying? That was detrimental. 3 years out of MMA. Even though he looked good against Aljamain Sterling, you know, Aljo got the split decision win, and I was there live in attendance in New Jersey, FY, and I bet Bilal Muhammad and Sterling at dog money, believe it or not. So, crazy parlay. You know, he got violated by Merab Dvalishvili. And at this point, Merab Dvalishvili has a freaking argument, and I completely apologize to Merab Dvalishvili for talking so much shit to him. But, guys, 38 years old. And yes, he has the credentials. He has all the credentials. Olympic, Olympic gold medalist, double, two division champion. But 38 years old does not look good for the younger weights, the lower weight classes. You know, bantamweight is a young man's sport. Flyweight is a young man's sport. Featherweight, you hit 35, 34, rusty, man. So, Song Yadong, 27 years of age, is approaching his peak. Like, he as good as he is. And this guy was like, what, 22 years old fighting, 20 years old fighting in the UFC. Craziness. I mean, look at this guy. He's been in the UFC for a while. Since 2017. And look at the run he went on. Submission, KO, Vince Morales decision, Perez KO. That was a nasty KO, by the way. Marlon Vera decision win, although there was a case for Marlon Vera getting robbed there. Losing to Kyler Phillips. Coming back against Casey Kenny, split decision. Julio Arce, KO. Marlon Moraes, KO. Losing to Corey Sanhagen, that was a doctor stoppage. He got pretty busted up over there. Coming back with a KO against Ricky Simone. Chris Gutierrez, that was a good 5-round fight. Losing to Peter Yan, Peter Yan, former champ, guys. Former champ. So you got to give him some leeway. But, he's growing. According to him, he's been in camp the entire year. So he's going to be in phenomenal shape. Phenomenal. Physically, he's much bigger than Henry Cejudo. 3-inch reach advantage. His volume, he is going to bust up Henry Cejudo on the feet for sure, for sure. It's the wrestling that we gotta. It's the wrestling that we gotta really take a notice. If Henry Cejudo comes out, because Aljamain Sterling doesn't give the same physical output like Song Yudong. Aljamain Sterling is a wrestler, so Song Yudong is gonna be my pick. And I hate writing off Henry Cejudo so early. I just think, styles make fights. And in this case, I think Song Yudong has enough pedigree at this point to stuff the takedowns from Henry Cejudo. Because if he doesn't, he's in trouble. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, from the odds perspective, let me pull that up right now. So open up -215. He's now -285. Money's gonna be coming in Song Yudong because for the reasons that I said, for the reasons that I just described, there's gonna be money coming him. Topology community does have Song Yudong at 65% over Henry Cejudo. I'm gonna pick Song Yudong. You know what I'm saying? The Kung Fu Kid. And if this is my last leg, I see myself hedging it. Against Henry Cejudo because I don't care what you say, man. Henry Cejudo, yes, coming off 2 losses back-to-back, split against Aljamain, and losing against Merab, who out-wrestled a wrestler. That was just crazy work. But again, Merab is just a freaking machine. He's not human. He needs to be checked because he might have somehow become a robot down the long because he's just crazy work. Yeah. I'm going to pick the Kung Fu Kid, Song Yudong, in the main event. I do think it's his time, and this is his like opportunity to make a name for himself. Yes, he's going to be making a name of a battle-tested, who just turned, 38 years of age, Henry Cejudo. But fighting is a young man's sport, and like I said, the lower weight classes do favor, the youth. So, Team Alpha male prospect Song Yudong, official pick. But once again, guys, this fight card this coming Saturday, do not blow your budget. Do not. There's going to be tons of action from MMA, tons of action from the boxing world. There's going to be a stupendous boxing card, which I want to touch on a few fights this week. But yeah, be careful with your money. Don't give it all back. We had a phenomenal week. I know a lot of people had a phenomenal week this past weekend. Don't give them your money back. Play reserve, guys. Keep your unit small. It's a marathon and not a sprint. I keep saying that because it's true. God bless. See you next time. I'm out.